So look at these little tomatoes. Aren't they cute? I got them from a farmer's market, the last farmer's market I was at. The people next to my booth were selling plants. Their family grows them from seed. They have a big greenhouse. They build greenhouses also. But anyway, at the end of the farmer's market, he said that anybody that has a booth here can have a plant for $1. So I bought a few of his tomato plants, and I bought a pepper plant. But anyway, these tomatoes are just like little bitty cute things. I've never grown tomatoes like these. Like pop them in your mouth like candy. They grow in these little bitty clusters. If I can get a close-up on one here. I don't know, can you see the little cluster here? Excuse the background noise. I've got kids out in the swimming pool. Riley's got company over, but they grow in these little bitty clusters, and they're just everywhere. They are so cute. Anyway, today we're going to make tomato pie, and I thought, well, this is the perfect day to show you these little cute little things. So I have just a little bitty handful here, but there's a lot of them growing, so. What we need is a cooked pie crust. And no, I'm not making this from scratch. I got it from the freezer. I'm going to let it, don't hate please. I'm going to let this defrost for about 15 minutes or so, but I'm going to poke the bottom here just a little bit before I put it in the oven. So it calls for 5 tomatoes, thinly sliced. And I have Roma tomatoes, and I'm sure you can use whatever kind of tomatoes that you would like. I'm hoping this is going to be sharp enough here. And I think it is. I'm going to give that to my chickens. Maybe that one too. So I'm just going to get these cut real thin. And then I'm going to put them over here on the paper towel. So I'll just continue to keep slicing these and get back with you. And I mean, they're pretty thin. Okay, so now that these are sliced, I don't know if you can see them. Maybe I'm going the wrong way here. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of salt on here to get all of the moisture out of there. Just a little bit, okay? And you can kind of see what I'm doing here. We're going to let this set for about 10 or 15 minutes or so, okay? Give it a little flavor. I have on my boho shirt today, my boho hippie shirt is what I call it. Anyway, let's get started. Okay, so let's start with half a cup of mayo. Hellmann's is what we prefer around here. So let's just plop that in. Try not to get it on my fancy boho shirt. I need to probably have my apron on. So there's the mayo. Scoot that out of the way. Half a cup of daisy. Sour cream. Put that in. Like I said earlier, we have company. They're in there playing video games now. They've been playing outside swimming. They've been on dirt bikes. They've been on four-wheelers. Now they're inside, probably cooling off. It's pretty darn hot out there today. Now then, mayonnaise, sour cream, and mozzarella. 1 cup of mozzarella. 1 cup of cheddar. Which we have mild cheddar right now. I think I'd probably rather use sharp or at least medium, but we have mild for now, so that's what we use. You know, you can just use kind of whatever you have. So there's about a cup of cheddar. I don't have fresh Parmesan. I have this powdery stuff, so we're going to use this. It calls for a 1/4 cup of Parmesan. So we'll put that in. There we go. Okay. Let's just kind of get some of this mixed up here. I think I'm going to put some pepper in. Let's put a bit of black pepper in there. Let's put in just a tad of pepper here. And also I'm going to add in a little bit of Tabasco. That'll bring out the cheese flavor. I don't have regular Tabasco, I have this Schlotzsky's, which we prefer. Oh, it's just delicious. I'm going to put just a couple of dashes of that in there. It's not going to be hot or anything like that. It's just going to bring out the cheese flavor, I believe. Get that kind of mushied in there. Okay. So we're going to set that aside. Let me get my crust. Here's my crust. It didn't turn out so pretty, but that's okay. I've already baked it, but I didn't bake it completely because we bake it for 30 minutes after we get everything in there. And see, the crust has already gotten a little bit brown, darker than I like. So anyway, it's going to be there for 30 minutes, so I figure I'm not going to cook it completely. I'm going to pat these tomatoes dry before I start assembling. If you can see me here, I'm patting them. And I think I'll get another paper towel and do that more. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started here. Layer some tomatoes in the bottom. There we go. We'll put that in. Now, the next is onion, just a small layer of onion here. These are from the 4th of July celebration from our burgers, so we'll use those. They'll be fine. You know, they probably should be really thin too. These are, they're thin enough. Calls for chopped fresh basil, and we don't have that. So I'm just going to use some flakes here that I have. I think that'll be fine. And pepper. And we're just going to do this layer all over again, okay? This is the second layer of maters. Okay. Here we go. Onion. Southern baked tomato pie. Gonna be good. Especially when we get that cheesy mixture on top, baby. That's what's gonna do it. Calls for 5 tomatoes. That sure does seem like a lot. I always try to keep these crusts in my freezer just in case I don't feel like fussing with it. You just, how easy is it to pull it out and bake it? So there's another layer. And let's get some more onion in there. This cooks for 30 minutes. And hopefully it'll cook up that onion a little and not be crunchy. Okay. Oop. Basil. Basil leaves. I had so much basil growing last year, and I have 0 basil growing this year in my herb garden. We had a freeze. Everything bloomed, and then it just went kaput. It froze. It went kaput after the freeze is what I meant to say. We had a hard freeze, and everything stopped growing. My plums didn't grow on the tree. So, anyways, we're using store-bought basil leaves, which I probably do have some somewhere that I have saved from last year. I try to dry them out and dehydrate them as much as I can. Alright, Alright, so there's that. I'm gonna skip this onion part here. Put just a little bit more here. And let's toss on the cheese mixture. Let's see what I'm doing here. We're going to throw this in the oven at 375 for 30 minutes. Cheese just kind of makes everything better, doesn't it? So does mayonnaise. Alright, so there's that. We'll spread that out. Now stop that crust, you're falling apart on me on top. On the outside here. I'm going to just slap those back in there like this. Alright. Okay, let's let that bake and I'll get back to you and we'll show you the results. That is looking pretty tasty. I just pulled it out of the oven, so I'm going to let it set for probably about 15 minutes or so before I cut a slice. Let it settle in a little bit. Been sitting for 15 minutes. Let's get this baby cut up here. From the looks of it, it looks like it would have eggs or something in there. It's actually, I don't know, stiffer than I thought it would be, firmer. I'm just going to cut a small piece here. I'll set it on a plate. Okay. That crust is falling apart on the back, but look at the layers. Looks really good. Let's see the inside there. That looks good. As you can see, I've had a few more bites of that. But anyway, you guys, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our channel, Blue Feather Homestead. Give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. And I sure do hope you guys try this. Southern baked tomato pie. Man, it is delicious. And it was easy enough. Y'all have a great day.